Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. October 11th, 1986 is where we are currently. And there are some notable things that happened this week, notable for wrestling history and the like. And obviously, whenever there's something historic, it can be a big deal. But we kind of move through relatively quickly around here. Mark Lewin returns. Steve Simpson is his opponent for the week. And, we kind of see the first main television studio type stuff. Lewin returns under the tutelage of Gary Hart once again. Simpson has been a major star in the last, 6, 8, 9 months, whatever it is. Mark Lewin has been in and out of Texas quite a bit, also known for his work in Florida with Kevin Sullivan, among other things. But Lewin is a perennial staple when in town for Gary Hart, and that seems to align itself. Gary Hart seemed to have stayed in Dallas in the Texas area for quite a while. They brawl, they being Simpson and Lewin, brawl on the floor for a good bit, and we then see Simpson sent into the post and the table, both, respectively. On the outside of the ring, Lewin doesn't seem to care about winning, cares more about getting, whatever victory he can get through putting out as much pain as possible. And then we kind of see Lewin taking Simpson into the crowd. The security officials / referees and such are not happy with this. Speaking of brawls that continue, we go into Abdullah the Butcher and Brian Adias. And, well, you're going to get what you're going to get as far as that's concerned, and what you're going to get is more chaos. Obviously, Abdullah the Butcher not going to give you hammerlocks and fist drops. Obviously, Gary Hart, a guy who likes the macabre and the kind of crazy guys. Butcher comes out with quite a weapon. Butcher uses chokes, punches, eye gouges, and the like. And Diaz, who has been around for quite a while by this point, does manage to get a few shots in on Abdullah the Butcher, but nothing that would make you go, Nothing that would make you go, well, he's about to win a match here. And kind of an elbow drop on the Butcher. Butcher gets the victory here. Big falling splash. Dingo Warrior attacked by Sawyer and Bourne in a live event during a promo. Warrior wearing all blue, face paint, and other accoutrements. He talks about, kind of not wanting to bow down to anybody. A weapon used, I think a steel chain of some sort against the Warrior. Yep, chain wrapped around the throat. And Bourne and everything. Bourne and Sawyer at the bequest of Percy Pringle do manage to take the Warrior down eventually. Simpson comes in, and Steve Simpson comes in and helps the Warrior out, and so further cementing his babyface run here. We see the Crusher for the first time, otherwise known as Bam Bam Bigelow, really young, in good shape, and we see a hype piece as him being an unstoppable monster. He actually is wearing a shirt that says, "I am monster." Not even "I am a monster." I am monster. Larry Sharp does the promo for Bigelow, otherwise known as the Crusher in this incarnation. And, we kind of see that go by the wayside. Bigelow uses power early. I mean, he even hits a side kick that he doesn't uh, connect with, but it's clear that for a big man, 6'4", 6'5", whatever he is, he's powerful. He's agile. He's everything that a big man eventually would need to become in order to get noticed. But big drop kick by Bigelow in the early stages, which is a big deal for a man, 300 pounds plus to get up for a drop kick. Amazing to me that less than a year later he's in the World Wrestling Federation. So when your career takes off in wrestling, it takes off quickly. Think about this: November of '87. 13 months later, he's in the inaugural for Survivor Series. Think about that. Anyway, Bigelow manages to hit a leg drop and manages to go to town on Zulu and the back elbow there. Bigelow uses chokes and whatever have you, but he also uses athletic moves. Interesting kind of go through. Um, Pretty boy Larry Sharp kind of cheers or kind of gets in Zulu's head. Post match promo, Sharp kind of aligns with Zulu and says he can lead him too. He sees something in him. Headbutt on Bigelow, though, back in the ring. Not a good idea to hit a head with a man who's willing to get tattooed on the head. 3 headbutts do take Bigelow down. It's amazing to me that I think if Bigelow had been promoted in another region, I don't think he would have left his feet at his size on his television debut in a region. I don't think he would have. I think he actually made his debut in '85, so probably about a year in. But this is his first major territory, at least I think. Could be wrong on that. Needless to say, though, kind of surprising that Bigelow leaves his feet several times during his inaugural world-class matchup. Bigelow does manage to get a big suplex and just muscles him up and over. And Zulu out the back door on that. Amazing. Maybe they didn't think they had something in Bigelow. I'm not quite sure what to think because if you watch the match and you realize what Bigelow becomes, like I said, less than a year later, and then you see how he's treated here, it's bizarre, to say the very least bizarre. Bigelow, though, does make his way to the top rope, which is something you did not see a guy over 300 pounds do all that often. Big splash, 1, 2, 3. Bigelow gets the victory, as mentioned. Zulu aligns with Larry Sharp post-interview. Then we go to I guess your main event of the week, and that is a tag match: the Von Erichs versus the Von Erichs versus Dingo Warrior and Rick Rude. Odd pairing there to see Rude and Warrior, especially since A, they would feud so much in the World Wrestling Federation, and B, to just think about that. Think about Mike and I believe it's Mike and Kevin, who managed, Mike and Kevin against Rude and the Warrior in 1986. Just a really odd pairing. Rude, still managed by female version of Raven, not male Scott Levy by any stretch. Match goes as you would expect it to go. Kevin starts off early. Rude and Kevin, I don't think they've had that much interaction, so it's interesting to just kind of see that they do cross paths. Steps off the top rope with a arm drag, does Von Erich, and Kevin and Mike, do manage to work together as brothers, obviously. Mike Von Erich, as I've mentioned before, never the same after the horrific shoulder surgery or toxic shock that he's got going on, whatever that was. But anyhow, Not a good thing for Mike Von Erich here. Kerry's still not back after the motorcycle accident. Maybe he comes back in November, December. Not really sure upon his return. I do know that he has one less foot upon his return. Um, Mike Von Erich in the ring goes off on Rude for a little bit, and they work the arm for quite a bit. Rude goes out to the arena floor and comes back in. Mike still in control. Oddly, Mike into wearing the yellow trunks, which is weird. We see Kevin in white and Mike in yellow. Used to be Kevin always wearing the yellow trunks, yellow Rose of Texas type stuff. Um, Match continues to break down. Warrior not seeing much action here either, although finally does get in the ring after about 4 or 5 minutes. Kevin jumps right into the arms of the Warrior. Warrior uses a bear hug. Still very rudimentary action from the Warrior. Doesn't stay in the ring very long, and they're still trying to find a way for him to make sense. They know he can make dollars, they just don't know how quite yet. Kevin, double foot to Rude, gets up on that top rope, goes for the dive off with the claw, and Rude selling the claw, as everybody has to for the Von Erichs. We then kind of see the Von Erichs gain an advantage. Warrior on the outside. He's not particularly happy with what's going on, and again, he wants to go back towards, being for himself, and we kind of see a finish to his alliance with Rude. I have a feeling here in World Class in the midpoint of October, 1986. Warrior brings a chair around, and that alliance doesn't stay. Warrior walking around with the wooden steps too. But Warrior certainly looks like an unstoppable force here in 1986, and we'll be back with more action right after this.